So this is US dollar Japanese yen analysis for Tuesday, the 5th of December. So let's have a look what happened with markets and where they're likely to go. So we did have from Friday, we did have a gap up in the market, quite a sizable gap, which again could be interpreted as being bullish. So we did gap up all the way up into resistance in around 12, sorry. Let's just get this right. 1277. So we gapped up into 1277. We did say we were looking for 3304 to see how we reacted around at 3304. And possibly beyond 3304 was pretty close. So we were expecting possibly a break all the way and a move. The level we were really looking at was in around 1356, but we didn't see prices trade up to 1356. Instead 1304 actually held. Somewhat surprising to me, but yeah, it is a minor level I've got marked out here on the charts. But yeah, 1304 did hold. As we can see, we've had a few tests of that 1304. We did see a breakdown of prices, had a bit of consolidation, a minor consolidation here at 1277. We've seen a subsequent breakdown all the way down to 1252. Now, we've seemed to have caught a bit of a bid in at 1252. We do have the 400 period moving average. We've not quite tested it yet, so we'll see how prices react to this 1252. Whether it does hold as resistance, we could potentially see prices trade all the way down to 1215. 1215 will be gap fill, potentially seeing some buy side momentum come into the market. So from here, if we do hold this 1252, we're looking for price to come to 1277, beyond which we're looking for 1304. Above that, we're looking for 1356. Now, if we do break above 1356, depending on market volatility, the next key level we'll be looking at is in around this very, very strong level in around that 1430. If, however, we don't head upwards, if we don't hold this 1252 and break above the 1277 and 1304, 1356, 1356, let's just see. 114 might be the far end of the range, actually. 114, potentially far end of the range, but if we do see market volatility, again, if we do get up to 114.30 at some point this week, we potentially see some sell side momentum coming off that level, potentially seeing sell side momentum again coming off these 1356 if we do get up there. So if we do see a move upwards, we're looking to see these levels, see how we're reacting around these key levels already mentioned, to see if we do see some sell side momentum coming to the market. Now, if we do break that from 1252, we're talking to 1215 in around where we did see a gap in the market, and it is a minor weekly level as it's already marked out here in blue. So in around 1215, we could potentially see a move all the way back up to that 1252. We have to be aware of the 400 period moving average, either on when we are heading downwards or when we are heading upwards, potentially acting as resistance or support. Now, if we do break down from this 1215, we're potentially looking to see our price react at 200 period moving average, but more importantly, 200 period moving average currently sitting at 1180 essentially. But more importantly, we're looking to see our price react around this 1160. 1160 is a very key level. So we'll likely see either a consolidation or a potential bounce from that 1160 all the way up to possibly 1215. And even if we do successfully navigate 1215, again 1252 will be the target. Now, if we do break above, if we do break below 1160, the very next level is in around this 111 level. So in around this 111, we did have this consolidation before we had this strong move to the upside. Well, somewhat consistent. It's not very strong, but it's a persistent move to the upside. So we'll see our price reacted at 111 before we target at 110.73. So that's wrap up the hourly time frame. So let's just have a look at the daily time frame before wrapping up here on the US dollar Japanese yen. So if we head over to the daily time frame and we get the scaling on here correct, and here we are. So we did mention 114.30 being a very strong level, and this is the reason why. As we can see, we've had quite a bit of selling off that 114.30, and again, we would expect to see a reaction around at 114.30. Now, as we can see here, we've had this very large candle just there, a bearish candle, and we did have a gap in the market, and we have posted another bearish candle, which is not a good sign, closing near the lows. It's not a good sign, even though we do seem to have caught a bit of a bid in around that 111 level. So we'll see how price react. If we do retrace back up to that 1277 before we see some sell side momentum potentially targeting the previous lows. We have to be aware of the 200 period moving average here on the daily time frame. The 200 period moving average currently sitting at, let's just have a quick look, essentially 1167. So it's 1160. 1160, that key level already mentioned. So the 200 period moving average is pretty close to it. So we'll pretty much use 1160 as our reference point. So if we do see a retracement down to 1160, added to the confluence is a 200 period moving average on a daily chart for potential upside momentum, taking us all the way back to possibly that 1252. So let's go and break from that 1160. Again, we've mentioned 11 and 110.73. Again, if we look here under the daily chart context, 110.73 is quite a bit away, and 114.30 again, they are quite a bit away. Don't anticipate them. They will take several days to get up there. Even in a volatile market, they'll take several days. So 113.56 potentially to the upside, and 111.60 to the downside. We're possibly looking at these levels to be the far end of the range, either to the upside or to the downside on US dollar Japanese yen. And yeah, we're saying that that should wrap up the analysis. Thanks for watching.